Today's very special guest that's going to be joining me is Miss Randi Castle-Salgado. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks for asking. I'm super excited to learn more about Randy.
Yeah.
Obviously, a Dag Life OG from when Dag came around back in San Diego about 10 years ago. So
Way back
just
when.
just rejoining the team again here recently, and obviously we're getting to know each other now. So I'm super stoked to learn a little bit more about one of the OGs of the team and hear a little bit about your journey.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about, kind of let's go backtrack from your time starting with DAG years ago and kind of how the journey's been since and what brought you back home.
Yes, yes, yes. So I actually started back with Dean and Dee Dee back in um, 2000. I had kind of decided to make the jump at the end of 2016. So at the beginning of 2017 is when I had joined them. They were with Axia
Right.
over at the time over in Mission Valley. It was myself, another agent named Colin, Aphrodite, and I think one or two other agents that were there, and that was about it.
OG
And
squad.
like
Literally the OGs of OG.
I think Aphrodite had been licensed like maybe 1 or 2 years.
So funny.
Yeah, yeah, at that point. So it was just a learning curve for
Of course.
everybody at that point. But nothing has changed with Dean or Aphrodite's vision. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
So that was one of the reasons why I came back, is just their energy and their vision and just the kind of people that they are.
It's different.
Yeah, it's the vibe is definitely a good vibe.
Mhm.
And anyway, so back then, I know Dean had started his. We moved over off of up in Tierra Santa, like across the way over
Mhm.
off of, I think it was Balboa or Claremont, in the building over there. I was with him when they started that brokerage and brought everything over
Yeah.
into there, and he, got away from Axia and whatnot. So I was there for, I don't know, probably about maybe a year and a half
Okay.
until the beginning of
Right.
2019.
Okay.
So I was there, and I had met some other agents, and that's when he had started to do some more recruiting, and agents would just naturally gravitate
Right.
towards DAG.
Towards the energy
Yeah,
of
towards
Dag
the
Life. Yeah.
energy. Yeah, so there was a lot of agents. I think when I left, there was about maybe a total of 20 or so,
Okay.
25.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it built up a little bit since then,
Yeah.
right? And I know I left, and I went back to Caldwell Banker West, where I was prior to, and even prior to that, I was with McMillan. So I actually started my career with McMillan, and when I left Caldwell Banker, I went back and I started my own little team, and I just decided I wasn't a good. It took a lot to be to have your own team,
Yeah.
and I was just like, yeah, there's too much. I just pour out too much, so I reeled it back in, and I left. I went to Sand and Sea Realty, where I was an office
Okay.
manager. And then I had some agents underneath me that I could still mentor and coach and whatnot. So yeah,
Nice.
and as well as producing agent the whole
Yeah.
time. So yeah, I got licensed in Arizona about 2 years ago.
Okay.
I had reached out to Dean, and I said, "Hey, I need to see about hanging my Arizona license somewhere." And I knew at the time Real was, kind of up and coming, and getting their boots on the ground, and they had momentum. And I had missed the EXP momentum, so I decided to jump on board with Real,
Catch the wave.
catch the wave. Yeah. So I did. So I reached out to Dean and I said, "Hey, I know you're California, but is there any way, I can do this in Arizona? Because I don't need brick and mortar. I just wanted to
Of
have,
course.
just everybody surrounding
Of course.
me.
The environment.
Yeah, the environment. So, yeah, so 2 years ago, I joined Real under Dean with my Arizona. And then I was looking at all my numbers, and I was like, wow, I've already made like $6,000 in stock. I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know which box I had checked, right? So I'm just like looking, I'm going, what would happen if I had done that in California? Because in California, I made a lot more money than I made in Arizona.
Of course.
So
Average price points, the whole nine.
yeah, so just looking at the caps, looking at everything,
Hmm.
I decided that it made more sense. So at the end of the year, in 2024, I reached back out to Dean and I said, "Hey,
I'm coming home. Mom is coming home.
I've been looking and I want to switch over to real in California, but tell me more. Tell me more.
What else is there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell me more." So
That's awesome.
that's where
And that brought you back here full circle.
that brought me back here full
Love it.
circle, jumping back in, getting back acquainted with the DAG systems and everything that comes along with
Dag life.
DAG
I
life.
love it.
So
That's
yeah.
super cool. It's amazing to hear because countless times there's been people on this team that have gone on to greener pastures or other different journeys, which we promote it, right? It's not built to where you should be here forever and always. It's one of those things where if you get an itch and you need to go scratch it and there's
Hmm.
something else, the higher calling, we open the door and say, hey, we'll be here waiting for if you ever want to come back. And there's probably in the last 2 to 3 years, 9 or 10 agents that have done that.
Hmm.
And I think that's a testament to who Dean and Aphrodite are as not only people, but also as leaders.
Amen.
And when it comes to everyone talks culture, everyone's preach culture, right? So at the end of the day, there's a difference between a boss and a leader. And they separate themselves from being leaders compared to any other boss out there.
Mhm.
And testament to myself, they're all in no since I've been in real estate. Never had to even consider another option because of what they provide, the support, the energy, all the love they pour back into us. So, and I'm pretty sure I speak for the entire team when we say that with open arms, right? So,
Mhm.
coming full circle is super cool to see, especially coming back to California and in terms of kind of where you're looking to go at this point in time.
Mhm.
So, with coming back and coming back to the team, what is your plan and trajectory for 2025? Like, let's talk about your goals for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so I have a goal of 35 transactions.
Fuck yeah.
That can be in between Arizona, California.
Hmm.
I already have 7 listings in Arizona that are 4 of them are live, 3 of them are coming. I've got 2 listing appointments this weekend here in California.
Hell yeah.
So listings coming here in California. I've got a couple buyers that I'm working with. So, just trying to build up that momentum for
Right.
2025. I think educating buyers is really important right now.
Hmm.
And just even sellers and just letting them know how the market is. I know definitely we're watching some different variables overall just to see where we're going to go. And
Yeah,
you know,
there's a lot of things happening in terms of like state to state.
mhm.
What's the biggest change or difference between operating and transacting in Arizona compared to California? And what part of Arizona are you primarily focused on?
Arizona, I personally, I'm licensed, and then I got my mom licensed there, so I have boots on the ground.
Sweet.
So we're a mother-daughter team over there.
Love it.
I personally focus more on Yuma.
Okay.
My mom does the White Mountains. Sometimes we dabble in Phoenix area, like if it's a referral or if it's somebody that we know personally or something, just to be able to give that quality. Other than that, we refer it out. We do have some investment properties in Kingman. These are kind of things that, would just be cash and,
Right.
whatnot. So it doesn't take a whole bunch of care well, obviously care, due diligence. But I would say some of the biggest differences between California and Arizona is there's the price point. So it's just more affordable, where you can get something there for 400,000 that's, comparable here in San Diego.
950 to a mill.
Exactly. So, it just kind of makes more sense, especially with we see a lot more people here in California that are retiring and, own their home. They're like, okay, well, if I cash out here, sell here, I can move over there, I can buy. My cost of living is lower, the gas prices are lower, the utilities are lower,
And I pocket a lot of cash.
and I
Yeah.
have something to live off of and being comfortable and still be able to travel.
Right.
Or in California, those variables can really, people are sitting on eggshells. A lot of people are sitting on eggshells right
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
just to see where insurance is going to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's
I
it's
know.
it's definitely huge, right? So it's a great segue, right? Because obviously, it's devastating what we saw the last. It's still going on right now.
Yeah.
Last going on 10 days now, 10, 12 days now with the fires up in Los Angeles. hearts and prayers go out to everyone impacted and affected. And there's a couple of people on our team that have grown up in the area of the
Mhm.
Palisades or Altadena and places where they call home. Plenty of people have been affected. We all know someone that knows someone or knows someone that was affected, and it's heartbreaking, heart wrenching. But that goes without saying, it's going to have an impact on real estate. There's
Oh.
going to be plenty of people that want to get out of Los Angeles because of how it's being handled. There's plenty of people that we've already seen start to call about coming down to San Diego.
Mhm.
What is, something you're kind of anticipating or expecting or, think might change the industry with all that happening, especially with the fire insurance?
Fire insurance is, just something that's insanity. It's a crisis right
Right.
now. We're in a crisis.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people are just living off of the FAIR plan, because a lot of companies have pulled out of California.
Mhm.
In 91915, which is Chula Vista, one of the areas that I service, they've seen. There's been actually a lot of denials of insurance over there. So
Right.
the FAIR plan has, over the last year, has had a 700%, 712% increase.
Increase, yeah.
Yeah, over there. So I mean, it's
It's it's it's it's pretty intense, right? So there's a
Mhm.
lot, for people at home, that people that don't know real estate, there's a lot more that comes with real estate instead of just buying and selling houses, right? There's property taxes, insurances, insurance companies, state laws,
Mhm.
county laws, city laws, and to try to be fair and not play any kind of political route for insurance companies, their costs were like going up exponentially from the state and their regulations, so on and so forth too. And they also have their concerns over potential issues like fires, like earthquakes, like flooding, that may or may not have been taken care of the right way. So it's, a lot of people like to point the finger at one specific person or one specific party,
Mm-mm.
but it's a collective fault from everybody from top down. And it's unfortunate. And at the end of the day, our responsibility is to come up with some kind of solution for our clients and to make something work that makes their finances work and try to, make lemonade out of apples. And sometimes that's what it takes. And it's one of those things where, as a realtor, from the outside looking in, people like to think they know what real estate is like, but in reality, it's nothing compared to what they see on the surface.
Yeah, exactly. I think that just like hit the nail right on the head. And it's educating clients and just, my concern is affordability.
Yep.
Right now, with interest rates already kind of looming in the sevens. Granted, we did see a quarter point
A little dip.
reduction today, a
Little
little
dip.
dip
Little
today, a
dip.
little dip. We'll take it. We'll take it. But even with the interest rates and the insurance and the taxes and everything, when you factor in adding in additional insurance and somebody who's already priced,
Hmm.
their DTI is stretched to the max, sometimes that can make or break,
Yeah.
depending on the area too. So I'm thinking that, projecting into 2025, depending on where we see these go. I mean, I know in May, the governor, he signed into bill, something that basically put, that nobody's allowed to leave California for like the next year or something
Yeah.
like that.
From like an
So
insurance
yeah,
perspective,
from an insurance
moratorium.
perspective, a
Yeah.
moratorium. So I mean, I know there's that going on, but I think when we would look at the broader spectrum of it, if we are educating the clients and going, okay, well, you may have to pay a little bit more, so maybe this isn't the area that you
Hmm.
want to be looking in.
Right.
No canyons. We can kind of steer clear of some of those and hopefully,
Yeah.
mitigate having to go into a fair plan or
Yeah.
whatnot. But, in the reverse side, it may help with adjustments of price.
Right.
So, we're kind of looking at that too, going, okay, well, if the insurance rates are going to go up, that's going to really limit the amount of buyers that are going to be in the playing field right now. Even if rates do come down,
Correct.
it's going to still keep it where it's at. And, we might see some housing prices start to decline as well.
Yeah, maybe. Again, right? Obviously, like hopefully, like best case scenario, everyone works makes out happy. But it's one of those industries where we know it can teeter totter every single day. Kind of going back towards like you've been in real estate for how long now?
Since 2013.
Okay, so going on 12 years, right?
Yeah.
So you've been through a lot, and so this is just another different component of your experience in real estate. So over 12 years, you've probably seen 35 different markets or more, right? In terms of like how the market's balanced and what's going on and what has an impact.
Mhm.
What would you say has been maybe one of the biggest challenges from like market to market in shifting for you? Or one of the things that may have been the biggest challenge to kind of adapt to a changing market?
I have always been very big on looking ahead,
Mhm.
so that I can pivot and before something happens,
Right.
change my game plan. And one thing I did when I saw this kind of coming is I got licensed in Arizona in 2022. As soon as I saw everything in no 2021.
With COVID.
So yeah, right then. So I was like, okay, I can see, rates aren't going to be able, this 3%, 4%, inflation's high, this is not gonna be sustainable. We can't have, 100% equity growth month after month after month after
It
month.
was pretty wild.
Yeah. So, just seeing that it wasn't going to be sustainable, I said, okay, well, let's pivot. Let's see what different markets are doing. And when I looked at the Arizona markets, they were more stable and they were more balanced.
Mhm.
So that's why at that time I decided to get into the Arizona market as well. I have a lot of family. I know the area. I'm there half the time, anyways.
Mhm.
So that was one thing.
So the biggest thing for the most part is being proactive.
Being
Just
proactive,
being prepared,
knowing
yeah.
your market, and knowing what the banter is
Yeah.
out in the field, and knowing what the buyers are saying and what the sellers are thinking, and just being there,
Yeah.
being present, and you can feel it. You can know that hey, this is not going to happen, and just
Yeah, just kind of again, adapt and adjust when you can. What was it that made you get into real estate to begin with back in 2013? What was the driving factor?
okay, so prior to being a realtor, I was a bartender and I was a server.
Nice.
So I worked in the hospitality industry. I was also a school lunch lady.
All the
And
things.
all the things. Yeah,
Love
I
it.
was a school lunch lady and a pharmacy technician.
Love it.
So for me, it was just kind of, I've always served people. I've always been of service,
Mhm.
and it was just another service industry to me. I didn't have any family in real estate. I liked houses. I liked being nosy. I like people. I like helping.
So the nosy
So
neighbor. You're the nosy neighbor is what you're saying.
I was. So I was scrolling through. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to be a waitress forever because, hey, we get older and our joints start to hurt and stuff. And I have been I've been a bartender for 12 years, or I'm sorry, for 20 years, and a server for 12 years.
It's a great transition from hospitality into real estate as long as you like people. There's plenty. I come
Yes.
from hospitality myself. As there's plenty of people in hospitality who absolutely fucking hate other people. Right? They're in it just to get
Truth.
by,
That's
make a
the
check, make
truth.
some money.
Yes.
If you are good with people and you do come from a service background perspective, like
Mhm.
I'm here to service others, it is a very easy transition into real estate. That's not to say it's very easy to be successful in real estate. It's the transition on how to handle conversations and deal with people which
Yes.
obviously has clearly been the case for you.
And know your clientele.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just it. Like, I'm very good with people, and just saying, hey, I can tell this person's like me,
Yeah.
I can act like this. Okay, well, this person's kind of serious. I better tone it down,
Yep.
just from waiting on so many people at so many different tables, or having so many different people come into the bar and sit down. You've had to put on all those hats of a therapist and a this and a that, and putting fires out here and there, and essentially it's the same thing,
Right.
just in real estate.
And understanding personalities.
Mhm.
Everybody likes to be spoken to differently, and
Yes.
everybody understands differently.
Yes, for sure. So being a people person is definitely, I love people.
Yeah.
I love people. I am
I
a
love
people
that.
person. I love people. I genuinely love people. We've done like food distributions, outreaches.
Mhm.
I serve as a planning commissioner for City of National City currently.
Nice.
And I also serve as a housing advisory chair for City of National City. So
That's
I think
amazing.
putting people first, putting community first. I'm also I don't know if you knew this or not, this is a bonus. I am a I'm CERT. So that's a community
Okay.
emergency
Yeah.
response team
That's amazing.
with the National City Fire
All the
Department.
surprises.
All the surprises. And I am a gray shirt with Team Rubicon.
Okay. What is that?
Team Rubicon is it's military, first responders, and some they
Okay.
call them badass
Yeah.
civilians
Yeah.
that go and they help out at natural disasters
Okay.
and stuff like
That's
that.
amazing.
So yeah, I'm
That's
actually
incredible.
got my first opportunity as a CERT member to serve alongside Team Rubicon during the floods.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
that was cool, mucking out
Yeah.
houses
Yeah.
and getting dirty, boots on the ground
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
The community needs it, and again, kudos to you, power to you. Thank you for that kind of service. What are some of the responsibilities you have with the board with National City?
So we do anything from variances on properties to CUPs for alcohol permits. So, I mean, it just really kind of varies if somebody puts in something that needs to go through planning. We also update general plans and just kind of go through if, like, the new in and out in National City, they have to come to us, they have to bring their plans and, approval. We're getting a Dutch Bros. We have a Texas Roadhouse now, round
Oh,
one.
the butter
Yes.
and the bread is everything there. The food, the steak, not the biggest steak fan there, but the butter. Everyone that's been to Texas Roadhouse knows you go there for the butter and the rolls.
Yes,
That's really it. It's
for
all that matters.
sure. Yes, and even so pre-COVID, because I've been a Texas steakhouse fan forever. Pre-COVID, they used to give you like peanuts, like when you
Right.
walked in,
Yeah.
and you just smash them, and
And
they'd
just
be
throw them
all
on the
over the
floor.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I
and
remember
that would
that.
be cool. But
Yeah,
now you
that's
just get
funny.
a bag of peanuts,
So
and
yeah, so
you
you
can't
wear
smash them and put them on.
no, you just leave them on the table, right? Cleanliness.
Yeah.
So you just wear a bunch of hats,
Yeah.
bunch of hats, and a bunch of different fields, and a bunch of different, kind of amenities in terms of National City,
Mhm.
obviously with DAG, having Arizona with your mom. So there's a lot going on there. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
it's all service though.
Yeah,
It's all giving back.
and that's what I say all the time when it comes to real estate. It's a relationship, people serving business. That's
Yes.
all it is. It's not sales. There's sales components. We're not car salesmen.
No.
These are people that should be a part of your lives after you close transactions and even
Yes.
before then, right? So, kind of with so many things kind of on your plate, what are some things you're super excited about for 2025?
I'm excited just to get back in and start diving back in with DAG team
Yeah.
and making some new connections and alliances and whatnot, and just going out there and taking over the world.
Yeah, that's fucking it. I love it. I'm fucking amped. You're
That's
getting me so pumped right now. I love it. And one thing I always like to talk about, right, kind of getting a little bit on the personal level,
Mhm.
right? Looking at where you're at right now in 2025 with how real estate's been for the last 12 years, where we're projected to go and what you're anticipating and things you're excited about and being back a part of the DAG Life family. You can look back at 18-year-old Randy
Mm.
and she's sitting in front of you right now. What is one piece of advice you would want to give her?
I would
Knowing the
say
entire journey that you've been through so far.
don't be afraid and just go for it.
Fucking go
Do
for
it.
it. Have
Do
to.
it. Life's too short.
Yeah. Is there anything that's driven that? Have there been things in the past where like you were like, hey, I didn't go for it?
Mm, I think I wish I would have gone for it sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
I've always had a drive. I've always been who I am.
Mhm.
I just never developed that into where I am today. So 45-year-old Randy, looking back to 18-year-old Randy, would have said, "Hey, get your shit together.
Make decisions fast.
Make decisions faster and just go for it." So back then I've always been entrepreneur, and I've always had little schemes in my head or businesses that
Right.
I wanted to do. Or nobody knows this, but even when I think I was probably about 20 or 21, I had a dog poop scooping business.
Money.
Dude.
Money.
I only had a couple clients, but hey,
Money. That's
I still
it.
tried. Poop
Hey,
scooping away.
the
Poop
hustle,
scooping away.
the hustle and the bustle. That's all that matters. When you have that,
Yeah.
you have the grit, you have the tenacity, you have the personality, you have the drive. You cannot fucking fail in life.
Yeah. So I mean, it's that. It's that. It's like maybe think a little bit, more. And I wish I wouldn't have been as reserved or self-conscious
Mhm.
or, oh, what would people think? just do it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
just
love
do
it.
it. Just go for it. Just do it. And if they don't like it, oh well. If you fail, get back up, just like I've done. I don't know how many times I failed.
That's it.
You get back up and you try again, and you try again and again and again until one day you're where you were trying to be in the first place. And then you're going, okay, well, everything has already shifted and changed. Where am I going now?
Yep.
So
Having a plan in place, I love that. That's super powerful. It's, you know, it's something I talk about a lot, just kind of within my circle and just on my own social media. It's, you know, you're never really failing unless you quit.
yeah,
Because even if you lose, you learn a lesson that's going to help you get to the next point where you want to get to. And you're right. To your point is, you know, you fail and fail and fail forward. You fail forward to get to the point that you want to be, and then you need to take a step back and understand that you're in the moment that you used to pray to God for, or you used to pray to whoever you pray to for,
I pray to God.
to be in that specific moment. I do as well, right? So yes,
I am. I sing on the worship team at my church.
I love that. That's amazing. That's cool. That's super cool. But the premise is you're going to fail forward to get to the point that you ultimately wanted to get to, or you're going to get even further.
Yeah.
And the whole point is, if at least you try and you go for it, you're going to get further than if you never tried at all. And that's what a lot of people fail to see. That's what stops a lot of people from going after the things that they want, because of the fear of, one, how quickly they'll fail and then quit, or two, the opinions of other people. And it comes down to regret. And I will never have a regret in my life. Have some things that I would have loved to change, can't do anything about it now. But at the end of the day, you have to be the person that says, oh, well, at least I tried. Instead of, what if I just tried harder?
Yeah. And I think another point to that is taking every failure as not a failure, but a learning tool.
100%.
So, you know, taking that and going, okay, well, I learned my lesson, pivot, adjust, and move on, and don't dwell on it. Don't, you know, like Dee Dee always says, 5-second funeral, right?
That's it.
That's it. Get over it and just move on, because
For
it's
sure.
already behind you. There's nothing you can do about it. And just keep going forward and keep your eyes in front of you. There's nothing in the rearview mirror that you need to see.
Nope. That's why the windshield's bigger than the rearview mirror.
That's it.
Love it. In terms of, since you just brought up Aphrodite, I was gonna, and it's funny because only you and Dean are the ones that call her Dee Dee, right? So, well, actually, there's one other on the team, Sydney Gutierrez, who used to work with her before real estate. But you know, kind of talking and thinking about Dean and Aphrodite, they changed so many lives. They're very selfless in the way that they do it, and they do it all for us. And they've changed my life. They're two of the most important people in my life, like many others on the team. What was it about them and the team specifically where, you know, coming to DAG, you were like, okay, this is home?
It's the caring, it's the nurturing, it's the openness, it's the forever. You know, I never left on bad terms. It was one of those things where, hey, you know, I need to fly.
Yeah.
And
Gotta spread your wings.
I did. And, you know, and I've always kept in touch. And every time I see them, it's nothing but love and respect and just honor. Even like I was going to speak up at the thing today that we had going on, because there was a negotiation going on with a DAG agent, and I was the listing agent. And there was you know, some issues with foundation and whatnot.
Right.
And Dee Dee jumped in, and she called me, and she was like, hey, this is the buyer's house. They want this house. Let's find a number.
Let's get it done.
So let's get it done. So, you know, it's the negotiation and just the knowledge and knowing that you're coming in under somebody who genuinely wants you to be successful. And they thrive on that. Like, they're like, yes,
I love it. And
you know, that's their heart. Like, you're succeeding, then that makes me successful.
For sure.
You
And
know?
it's something they focus so much of their time and attention and energy on, where
100%.
it's something that I say often is the people that generally want to see you succeed and be happy in life will be the ones that help you get there. And that's all they do for everyone.
Yeah.
And there's not much more we can ask for.
And I mean, you ask why, that's why.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. All love, right? It's and for me, being the director of growth, where I become prideful, what I explain to people that I talk to is, you know, we took the team from 45 agents to 130 in 8 months. And the retention back in 2022 is about 40%. Going into 2023 was about 55%. Going into 2024 is about 60%. Going into this year, the retention is about 85-90% from last year.
That's amazing.
To me, that's a testament of the culture that Dean and Aphrodite have built. And that says everything about the team, in my opinion.
And it's growth. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's not only have you've grown agent wise, but you've grown retention
For
wise
sure.
too. So, and then you have the kids like me who leave and then say, "Hey,
Coming on home."
can I come back?"
I love it. That's so cool.
And they say, "Oh yeah, we're here. We would love to have you. Open
Come give us a
arms.
hug.
Come on in.
That's
Here,
it.
we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Let's go get it done."
It's amazing, and
Yeah.
it's so special
Just
to be a
like
part of.
you didn't even skip a beat.
That's
Nothing
it.
ever. There was nothing in between. You're just here. You're home.
That's it, and it's a part of their legacy.
Yeah.
And who they are, and that leads me to the final thing we're going to talk about, because we can't have a Dag Life podcast without talking about legacy, because it's something we've been talking about as a team and collectively for the last couple of years in depth. Wholeheartedly believe Dean and Aphrodite's legacy is how much love they have for everyone else before themselves, and the size of their hearts. When you look at yourself down the road, when it's close to all being said and done, what would you like Randy's legacy to be?
I want to have the biggest funeral. I want so many people to show up and just say, "She loved unconditionally and she was such a light for so many people." That's it. And
Powerful.
just party it up.
Party it up at the funeral.
Party it up.
I love you for
And
that.
love me.
I love you. Give me a hug. Yeah. You're going to have the biggest funeral ever. There's no better spot to end it than there. I can't thank you enough. This has been so enjoyable, and I can't wait to see you spread your wings and fly with the team this year. And I can't wait to have you back on the show. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Dag Life Podcast. See you next time.